What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be doing glow plugs on the Jetta. I'm going to show you guys how to change them as well as diagnose which glow plug it is in case you have an older car that doesn't tell you when you scan the check engine light. Also, in case if you're having an issue in the harness and not in the glow plug itself. So this is the 1.9 TDI motor, and this came in a very large variety of Volkswagen and Audi cars, the Jetta, the Golf, and it remained fairly unchanged from the entire time it was produced from 96 to 2006. Alright, so for starters, you're going to pull the engine cover off, and then right here, kind of like a black rubber tube, and that's going to be the glow plug harness. Now if you're having issues with the car started hard in the cold or maybe a check engine light, it's going to be coming from one of two places, either the glow plugs or the harness. My harness here is cracked, so as you can see it's falling apart. So I'm having issues in the harness. I'm going to do another video on how to splice that in. But if your harness is in good condition, it's a good idea to do this with the engine warm to help prevent the harness from cracking. But it just pops off. And you can slide it out like that. So you can see this is the old glow plug harness here, and then this is the new one. I noticed that this one was broken, but every single other one broke as I was taking it out. Not a big deal, because I got the new one to put on. See in here, 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 and here are your 4 glow plugs, and you can see how the caps broke off on top of them. Now it is kind of common for these to snap as you're taking them out, so I'm going to spray them down with either some PB Blast or some WD-40, because if they end up snapping and the tips fall on the head, this is going to be a head removal tutorial instead of a glow plug tutorial, and I'm trying to avoid that from happening. Alright, so with those sprayed down with penetrating oil, I'm going to let them soak for a minute and tell you guys how to troubleshoot this. So the newer cars, when you get a check engine light for a glow plug, it'll tell you which cylinder has a bad glow plug. If you have an older car, it's just going to give you a check engine light. And one way that you can test to see which glow plug is bad is you can take a multimeter, set it to ohms. I have alligator clips on here, but probes will work the same. You can put it on the glow plug and then touch the other side to the top of the motor, and it should give you a reading of 1 ohms or close to it. If it's not close or doesn't give you a reading at all, then you know the glow plug is bad. So let's say that your car tells you that you have a bad glow plug. It could still be the glow plug harness, and one way to test that out is to take the glow plug from one of your cylinders and move it to another and see if the check engine light follows that cylinder. If it follows the cylinder, then you know it's the glow plug. If it stays in that same cylinder, then you know it's going to be in the harness. With that being said though, if you're in here, just go ahead and replace all of them. They're cheap enough and easy enough to replace that if they're old, they're going to be getting worn and you're going to have to replace them someday anyways. So all it takes to remove them is just a 10mm deep well socket. So here you can see a new one compared to the old one. You want to make sure that if you can read the part number, they match up, they're the same size. And it's a good idea to put a little bit of anti-seize on these threads in case they go bad in the future. This is steel going into aluminum, so sometimes some corrosion does happen. When it comes to putting the new ones back in, if you need to, you can use a magnet, or you can just put it back in the socket and thread it in by hand, but you don't want to use the ratchet because you don't want to cross thread this. So once you have it threaded in all the way by hand, if you have a torque wrench, use it. The factory spec for these is 11 foot-pounds of torque. If you don't, you only need to snug it up. You don't need to go cranking on it. As always, hit that like button if you like the video, subscribe for some more, drop me a comment, let me know what else you guys want to see. T-shirts are in the description, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
wrong, shouldn't we?